All right, welcome everybody. I know I've been gone for almost a week due to schooling. Not mine, but my grandchildren's. We've had quite a time getting them all online to do schooling. So anyway, I'm glad to be back tonight, and I'm excited to show you what we're going to be working with tonight. Just before we get started, I want to just put my contact information up for anyone who wants to contact me for any reason. Hey, Susie. So you'll notice I don't have a hostess code up because I did close out the August group already, but you can still place orders with me through the end of August. There just won't be a hostess code. And just remember to place those orders. Go to juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email is juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. My Pinterest page is Julie's Creative Stamping, which obviously that is my Facebook page as well, but you guys are on that, so you know that. And then my blog is stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com, and you'll want to go there because any of the cards that I demonstrate, I eventually will get put on my blog with step-by-step instructions. Yay! So anyway, just make sure that you jot down any of that contact information that you might need. And I'll put this up at the end as well. Alrighty. So again, I'm excited to be back with you guys. I feel like I've been gone so long and it's only been a week. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Julie Brown. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I love making cards and love designing cards. I have a group, a monthly group that meets. We've actually started back meeting at my house because I've found a way to keep everybody 6 feet apart. So if that is something that you're interested in, just again, contact me on my email at juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. And I can get information out to you about our card making classes. So it's pretty exciting. We have a lot of fun. We have a good group of ladies. I also do online classes. So if you are wanting to do card making, but you're still not feeling safe to go out, again, just let me know and I can set up a time and get kits to you so that you can follow along and make some cards with me. So let's look at the set that we're going to be using tonight. It is the Flowering Blooms bundle, and it comes with this beautiful stamp set. Now you guys all know I love the distinctive stamp sets, and this is one of the distinctive stamp sets. So I'm always excited about the distinctive stamp sets. And hold on, I'm just trying to check to make sure that I am online. I'm not seeing it, so I hope it's posting. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Hey, Shanine. So anyway, this is what we're going to be using. It is a distinctive stamp set, and what that means is that it's really good for simple stamping. The first card we're doing is a simple stamped card, so you'll be able to see because it has such distinction and it has the shading already in it, so there's not much you need to do with the stamp set except stamp it. Hey, Mel. And then this is the wonderful dies. There's one more die that I'm going to be using that it comes with. So basically the dies cut out this flower, this flower, this flower, this leaf, and then it does a fun border that we're going to do tonight. And then it has all these little tiny flowers and leaves that it also cuts out. So it's a really fun die set. So let's get started on our first stamps card. So as usual, my first card is going to be a simple stamping card. And for this one, you only need a card base, a basic black card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we're just going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need a Post-it note that you have pre-stamped with the flower and cut out. And I'll show you that in just a second. So let's get started with this card. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in this beautiful big flower. We're going to use this one first. We're actually going to use this one on a couple of cards, and then we're going to use the other flowers on our last card. And then I use the Calypso Coral Oh no, I used Flirty Flamingo. I was looking at that going, that doesn't look like Calypso Coral. So I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo and ink up my stamp. And then this first one, I want to put kind of down in this corner. I want to make sure I get it all on, except I don't mind getting off a little bit on the right. All right, but see what let me bring this closer. See what those distinctive stamps do? Isn't that just beautiful? Just stamping, just stamping. And it's just so pretty because it already has the shading, the lights and the darks. That's why they're kind of my favorite stamps. Anytime someone asks me, what's your favorite? It's always any of the distinctive stamps. Okay, and then we're gonna stamp one off on this side. So we now have 2 of the flowers on here. And then let me clean this off. For those of you that don't know what this comes nice and pretty and pink when you first get it, but these are Stampin' Up! Chamois, and you just basically get them wet and it cleans your stamps, and it's not real harsh on the stamp. So it's a really, Stampin' Up! Came out with those, I think almost 2 years ago, and I've been in love with them ever since. Okay, so the next stamp set that we're going to use, and I thought I had that. Look at me, I put all my blocks up. I was good. So we're going to use this flower stamp right here. And again, we're going to come in with the Flirty Flamingo. Now this first flower I can do without covering anything. So I'm just going to come in with this one and I'm going to stamp it right here at the bottom. But now I want to kind of fill in up here a little bit, but I don't want to stamp over this flower. So what I did was I stamped this image on a Post-it note, and then I cut it out, and it's not fussy cutting, it's cut out like almost exact, if you guys can see that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this over my stamped image. And what that allows me to do is to come in and now stamp this stamp, and I don't have to worry about where my stem and stuff is because it's not going to show, but it allows me to get that flower stamped on there. All right, and then I want to do another one kind of off in this direction. So I'm just going to leave that on there. And again, we're just going to bring that in like that. All right. And then when you remove this, it looks like the flower on the top is actually on the top. So it makes that dimension. So see how that works out? So it looks like these flowers got stamped first and then I stamped this, but that's not how that worked. All right. So that's kind of a fun little, and I know I do this a lot and you guys see this a lot, but I like that technique. I like using the Post-it notes, and I like, yeah, I wish I could remember what that's called. But anyway, using the Post-it notes to block off and protect what you've already stamped. And then you stamp over it. Okay, so then we're going to take this and put it back. And then I'm going to come in with this saying right here that says, "Your kindness is so appreciated." I'm going to put this on, this is, what is this block? Block H. So for this one, I used block H and block E. I don't know all the blocks yet, so I always have to look at them. Okay, so I'm just going to try to get that lined up to where I think it's kind of straight. And then I'm going to bring in my black memento. And then what I'm going to do is I want to actually stamp this at a, masking technique. Thank you, Susie. I couldn't think of my words. So then I'm just going to bring this in at an angle. And I'm going to stamp the little saying right like that. So, I mean, do that once in a while. It's kind of fun. I think sometimes we get so in the habit of just kind of stamping everything perfectly straight or right in the center. So, you know, live a little. Live a little and do some angles with your stamping. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side, and then we're going to work on the inside of the card. And for the inside of the card, I'm going to bring back those, the flowers, the little flowers that I used on the front. And we're just going to go up the side here. And again, this is Flirty Flamingo ink. I haven't used Flirty Flamingo in a while either, so I was kind of like, let's use something that I haven't used in a while. Okay, so I'm going to start that one kind of off the side a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with this one, and it's going to be off the page, but I am doing it kind of at an angle. And then I'm going to grab just the top and put that down here so that it looks like that. Yay! So I hope everybody's been doing good. Did you guys all miss me last week? I actually missed doing this. But like I said, trying to get, I had Callie on her very first day of trying to get online, and we kept kicking off, and it wasn't working. And her poor teacher, bless her heart, she was trying to get us all on a Zoom meeting, and then she had her kids calling her because they were at home and they couldn't get online. And then she had parents calling her that couldn't get online. So it was a crazy day. So yeah, I didn't get to, I usually have my cards designed before, but that was, I don't know why I didn't get it all done. So yes, I'm glad you missed me, Mel. All right. So then on the inside, I'm going to put this one that says, I'm moved beyond words. So it says, your kindness is so appreciated on the front. And then on the inside, it says, I'm moved beyond words. And that's all part of this stamp set. For the simple stamping, I wanted to use all of the sentiments and stuff that come with this stamp set. So let me move this down here a little bit just to line it up. I've still been a little off kilter getting things straight. I don't know what's been going on with me. Yay! I got it straight that time. Whoop, whoop. Everybody wave your hands. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, good, Shanine. You miss me too. You enjoy our Tuesdays, our Tuesday night classes together. Yay. So Shanine was our big winner at the Stampin' Bingo, and I want to thank all of you that came to that. We had a blast. It was so much fun, and I need to get a little more creative on the calling out the bingo numbers, but it was fun. We had a good time. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to take this, bring in our Stampin' Seal, and we're going to add this to the inside. Whoops. That usually doesn't do that. All right, and then I'm just going to try to get this lined up correctly. And that's going to be the inside of the card. And then let's just open this up and do the front of the card. Now understand, simple stamping doesn't mean you can't add embellishments. You could add the rhinestone jewels or the pearls. The pearls might be really pretty on this one, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys how to do it with just stamping. So like if you didn't have all that other stuff, I think a lot of people think that when they get involved with Stampin' Up that they just have to, I mean, granted, we all love the toys, right, ladies? We love the toys. But you can start stamping and start learning how to do this with just the ink pads, the cardstock, and the stamps. All right, so there's our first card. What do you think? Isn't it pretty? Like I said, these distinctive stamps, they're just beautiful. And you really don't need to add a lot to them to make them beautiful. All right, card one done. And not only that, but simple stamping, look how fast that is. Really fast. All right, so the next card, I kind of used some colors that I don't really put together a lot. So I kind of want to see what you guys think of this card. And there's a lot of pieces to this one. So I use the crushed curry. And the reason that I'm using these colors is because I am using the Playing with Patterns designer series paper with this one. And so I was trying to match up the colors that go with that. But again, it's just not colors I normally use. So we'll see what you guys think after class. Okay, again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need 2 Calypso corals. And these are 1 inch. The first one is 1 inch by 5 inches. The second one is 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then you're going to need 2, actually I think it's 3 Whisper White pieces. 2 of them are the 4 by 5 1/4, which is kind of, I use that size a lot. You guys will, those of you that watch me a lot, you get used to that. But then you also need a little white one here that is 2 3/8 by 4. And then another crushed curry piece, which is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. You're going to need 2 purple posy. And remember, just because the ink on the purple posy didn't work out for a lot of us, I mean, I do have it because I ordered it right when it first came out, but they did discontinue it because it wasn't really coming out the way they wanted to. But it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then this is 3/4 by 5. And then I have this little fun strip of the Playing with Patterns. And this is 1 inch by 5.5 inches. All right. So let's get started with this card. And let me see how I want to do this first. I think we'll do the stamping first, both for the inside and the front. So we're going to bring this in, and it's smaller than the stamp that I'm using. I know that. And I am using Purple Posy ink because I have it. But you guys could do this. You could probably bring in Highland Heather, and it would look really nice with this. So even though it's not the exact Purple Posy that's in the designer series paper, Highland Heather would look really pretty with this as well. So I'm going to come in, and I want to get the center of the flower on there. I want to center the biggest part of the flower, and I'm okay with it going off the page, and I'm okay with me messing up down there because I'm going to be covering that. But obviously I didn't get enough. Hey Brenda, so that's that flower in Purple Posy. Isn't it pretty? I love this flower, love it. And I think somebody in our Stampin' Bingo, this was one of the stamp sets that they won, was the Flowering Blooms. And I can't remember who won that, but somebody got the Flowering Blooms stamp set. So now they just need to buy the dies to go with it, right? Okay, so we're going to stamp that there. And then for the inside, we're going to do that same technique. We're going to bring in the Calypso Coral this time. But we're going to do that same technique that I just did on the last card. And we're going to stamp that long, this really pretty flower here up the side. I kind of fell in love with that technique, if you guys can't tell. So let me grab. And again, I chose these colors because these are the inks that coordinate with this, the Playing with Patterns designer series paper. So, and if you guys haven't already seen it, I know I keep showing you guys this, but I just want to make sure that you're using your catalogs the way that they were meant for us to use them, because they've made this so easy for us. So when you turn to one of the suites, and this is the Playing with Patterns suite, if you look right here, it tells you all of the colors that go with the paper. So this says Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Coastal Cabana, Night of Navy, and Purple Posy. So if you guys haven't done that, use those catalogs to help you design your cards, or at least the colors that you're going to use in your cards. Okay, so we're going to take that one, stamp it there. We're going to take this one, stamp it there, and then we're going to do that little one down here in the corner. I know, I was a little boring. I did the same thing on both cards, but I like the way that looks, so I did it again. And then on the inside of this one, we are going to use the thank you from this stamp set. And we're going to be doing that in Memento Black ink. So let me grab our little, and I'm using block B, and that's the same one I used for the last sentiment, was block B. So this has a really fun thank you. It's a little tiny one, but it says thank you. I think we all make tons of thank you cards. Yeah, Brenda, I do too. I love the new catalogs and the fact that they tell us what inks you know, coordinate with everything. And not only are they showing it to us, but they're making it kind of big, so it's kind of hard to miss. All right, so there's my thank you right there. Okay, it looks like I froze. So it looks like my phone may have froze. So if you guys will hold on a second, I will get us back. Can you guys still hear me? So if someone can tell me if they can hear me. I've been having some problems with my phone, so let me just check a couple things here really quick. Nope. I'm going to disconnect my phone and reconnect. So I'm going to put it on me for just a second and get it reconnected to my phone. I don't know why my phone has been doing this lately. I'm looking at trying to get a new phone, and hopefully that will solve this little problem that it keeps having. So, okay, there we go. We're back up. So sorry about that, guys. All right. So you're going to see I've already stamped the thank you. So it's actually, so, and again, that was a stamp set that's from the, it's one of the ones that's in the stamp set. All right, so now I've got all my stamping done. And so now we're going to bring in our adhesive. Oh, I've already done it. So I'm going to be cutting out. So this set has this really cool, and we're going to be using this on the next two cards. But it's got this really fun border die. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not no longer frozen. But it's got this really fun border die, and so we're going to cut this out with our new die cutting machine. So let me move everything so I can bring that in. I did pre-cut a lot of the stuff today, but I did take the adhesive strips, and the adhesive strips come in a packet that looks like this, and then you just take them out and cut them to the size that you need. All right, and so I just cut this and stuck it on the back of this. Again, because this is a detailed die, and as we know, detailed dies are a little bit harder to cut out, or not cut out, but they're a little bit harder to get on your page when you're using like the liquid glue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, you can see I have my washi tape on my, that's kind of my signature thing, isn't it? Oh, I guess I better be using the right. And you can see I got my new plates, but I'm not using them tonight. I already had to get new plates because I have used mine so much, just testing it out to make sure it's going to hold up to everything that you guys would do, and the answer is yes, it holds up well. I have cut so many things out with this machine, and I've embossed with it, and I've just had fun. But I've torn up my first plate, so I did have to order extra plates, and those are here, but I didn't grab one to use tonight because you can still use this one even though it's a little warped and it's a little scratched up. You can still use it. It works. Let me make sure that cut all the way through. Okay. So then what we're going to do is just pull the washi tape off gently. And then we're just going to pull this. Let me move this die cut machine. So that's the other die. So remember, I showed you guys this. This is the other die that comes with the set. And let me just scoot that out of the way. I don't think I'm going to need to use that. Oh yeah, I am going to use it one more time just to show you how to, on the next card, we're making this a little bit longer. Okay, so then you're just going to kind of just, and I'll do this in a second when I'm ready to put it on the page, because when you pull this backing off, it pulls a lot of this stuff out that you're going to be cutting out. All right, so let's bring in our card, and we're going to start building our card front. So the first thing you're going to put on the card front is the 4x5 1/4 that you have not stamped on. So we're going to take our Stampin' seal and we are going to put that on there. The next thing that we'll be putting on is our designer series paper. So let me get this on here. And tonight I did a lot of overlapping, meaning that I didn't stay, a lot of times when I do cards, I stay within this 4x5 1/4 space. But this time I didn't want to. I just kind of wanted to go. So see how this one, instead of being 5 1/4, it's 5 1/2, this strip. So it's longer. So that just kind of gives it a different look. And again, these are all things that you need to, you know, just experiment. You know, I hope that you guys aren't just buying Stampin' Up! Products and not playing with them, because, you know, half the fun is playing with the stuff that we have. And I know sometimes we don't have a lot of time to play with them, but I'm going to start doing some play dates for all of us that are here in Farmington. And we're going to start getting together, and you guys are going to get to bring your stamps and your stuff, because I'm not going to have, it's not going to be like a class. It's going, I don't know if that's, I didn't get that straight. I was like, I don't, oh, and I think this glue is really good, so I don't know if I'll be able to pull that up without tearing it. Anyway, I'm going to have a play date where you guys can come and just bring your stuff and come and be creative. It's a safe, creative environment, right? No judgments. All right. And then I'm going to take this little purple posy piece, and it is going to just butt up right against that. And again, I cut this a little bit smaller than the 5 1/4. So that's going to be the next piece that goes on. All right, and then we're going to come in with our little frame. And so this is what I'm talking about. So with this frame, oh, I have my little thing turned around. So what you're going to want to do, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but it makes this little indentation right there, and you actually want to cut it right like this. So you're going to cut that little indentation off. If that, here, let me see if I can get that there. And the reason is because if you don't cut this off, these little pieces right here stay on there. All right, so let me remove all of this stuff. And then I'm going to go to this other side, and I'm going to do that same cut. Be nice if I could cut it straight though, right? Oh, telling you, me and straight don't always get along. And then instead of trying to poke all of this stuff out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my tweezers in here, and I'm going to pull this backing off. This is what puts the sticky on this part. And hopefully it's going to pull a lot of those pieces out. See how it's pulling a lot of those little pieces with it when I do that? And there's going to be a few left in there, but it will pull a lot of it out. So then you're just going to kind of turn it over. And actually, if you just kind of stick your finger up there, everything sticks to your fingers. Wah! Okay, so then I'm going to come in with this, and I'm going to line this up so that this, so see this little section here? So this bottom, the part that's the line right there, I'm going to line that up with the edge of the purple posy. And again, this is, oh, this is hard to see. I forget how much room I need to leave. And again, another note when you're working with this to get things even is don't push it down hard the first time you're pushing it down. Just kind of lay it to make sure that you're getting, if you're wanting to get the top and the bottom the same distance, then you can see how I got to pull that up several times. And then you just press that down. Oh guys, look at the adhesive sheets. Don't tell me my phone froze again. What is up with my phone tonight? All right, sorry guys. I think it's because I may not have done my notifications. I didn't shut all of my notifications off. So yes, I know I froze again, but we should be back on here. Just give me a second and we should be back. I'm watching to see when I come back for you guys. So again, so sorry. I don't know. My phone is just having some issues tonight. All right, let's see. Are we good? Let's see if we're back to... let's see. Give it a few more minutes and we should be... Yay, we're back. Okay, are you guys back? So anyway, because I put that adhesive strip on the back, I was able to lay that down so easy. And then it's stuck really good in place. So, yay. Oh my gosh, don't tell me I am froze again. What is going on with my phone? All right, guys, give me 1 second. I think what I'm going to do is turn off my notifications on my phone. Either that or I'm going to have to keep like switching from back and forth with my phone. Because I don't know why it's doing this tonight. Hopefully it's not because my family's upstairs on computers that they're not supposed to be on. So, sorry. Give me a second and we'll be back hopefully. And it'll calm down. I was kind of thinking I needed to get a new phone because it's been doing this lately. And it hasn't done it at all up to this point. But lately I've noticed that it's been doing it a lot. So... all right, we should be back in just a second. I know I froze again. So sorry, guys. This is so frustrating when it does this. So let me see when we get you guys back. All right. So, okay, I think we're back. And we should be, and I haven't gone farther. I waited for you guys because I am paying attention. All right, so like I said, it laid it down so pretty. Those adhesive sheets just make these detailed dies so easy to put on. So anyway, all right, so our next step is we're going to bring in our crushed curry piece. And again, this is gonna go flush to this little die that we just popped out. So maybe I need to move a little slower. So I will move slowly. Try not to talk slow. Isn't that funny? You start moving slow. Oh my gosh, it froze again. Oh, this is gonna make me nuts. All right, give me 1 second because I think I'm gonna totally disconnect my phone. Oh wait, no, we're good. Okay, it's working. All right, so then we put that crushed curry piece and it just goes flush against there. Then we're going to bring in our white piece, and it is actually, and one thing that I was kind of looking at this, and I kind of wish I hadn't, I guess we could do it that way, but I'm thinking the next time I do this, I will probably cut this even smaller, just because the first card I did, I kind of covered that, but I like the way this looks. So actually, let me bring my cutter in. And I am going to trim this just a bit and see if it's still going to look as cute, because part of my flower will be gone. But I'm actually okay with that. So this piece probably should be a little bit smaller. Let me see if that will work. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's change the size of this piece. And let's make it, so that would be 2 1/4 by 4 instead of 2 3/8. I don't know. I like that better. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want to see this really pretty, detailed on that die right there. All right, so we're going to use our Stampin' Seal. And then this is going to come in and it is going to go flush right up against that die. And again, kind of centering top and bottom and right edges. All right. And then we're going to bring in our other piece of Calypso Coral. And we're going to use that Your Kindness is So Appreciated stamp again. And the black memento ink. Let's see if I can get this straight. And we're going to try to center this. Let's see if I can. Yay! I love it when I do it straight. It's so exciting. All right. And then I think I want to, let's see. I want to show some of the white down here. And I'm thinking that if I'm going to pop this up, I want to make I can only put a dimensional over here and over here because of the layers that I already have in here. So again, that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about popping things up, is kind of where it is. And so but I definitely want to use these little half pieces because I don't want a full dimensional on these edges. But I do think I want to pop that up. But I'm going to put it as close to this edge, but not so close that they would see it if they kind of turned the card to the side. And I'm not going to put any in the middle because this already has a lot of height to it because of the amount of layers that I've put on this card. Oh, let me close this time so I can make sure. So I'm going to bring that, and I want to be able to see. And I think I got it not quite to the edge over here. And again, as long as you, even with the dimensionals, as long as you don't like push them down hard, you have a little bit of wiggle room. All right, so then that's going to go on there like that. Then I'm going to come in with the Playing with Patterns resin dots, and we're going to use the purple posy ones. And if I remember right, I had to pick these up with the spatula end. Okay, and I'm going to put one up here. And then we're going to grab a medium-sized one, and it's going to go over here. And then we'll grab a little tiny guy, and it's going to go right there. All right, I like these dots. They've kind of got a flat finish, but they're still really pretty. All right, and then for the inside, we've already stamped it. So we're just going to put this 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of purple posy. And that's going to go on the inside. And then on top of that, we're going to put the piece that we stamped earlier. I will say this about the new Stampin' seal. I think that it adheres a lot better than the old adhesive, the snail adhesive that Stampin' Up! Had. The issue comes in is that it doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room. So you need to make sure that you're getting it down kind of where you want it, because you saw me when I got that designer series piece on there. I had to really be careful pulling that up so that it didn't tear the paper that it was on, or the cardstock that it was sitting on top of. Alrighty, so there's this card finish. So what do you guys think? Different color palette, isn't it? But I just kind of wanted to play with the color palette that they said goes with the Playing with Patterns suite. So this is a more subdued, because in that Playing with Patterns there are some darker colors, but I kind of wanted to use the subdued ones. So anyway, I like it. I hope you guys like it. So there's our second card. And now we're going to move on to our third card. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do on this third card is, let me show you everything that you, well, I can't really show you everything that you need because I've cut a lot of stuff ahead of time. But we are going to use Pretty Peacock as our card base. And this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Yeah, somehow it works, doesn't it, Brenda? I know. I wasn't really sure about those colors, but it works. And then this time I am bringing in, I haven't played with this in a while, but remember our Forever Greenery? I'm going to bring it in because I have it in my little box. The Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, so we're going to use that this time. And I'm using this one, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you need a Whisper White piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then there's a lot of other pieces, and I think I wrote it down. Let me see if I can find where I wrote it. I was going to set it right here beside me so that I could tell you guys the sizes of this. And of course, I think I have moved all my papers to clean up my spot, and I now no longer know where that is. Oh, see, I think I'm being, oh wait, here it is. Okay. All right. So you're also going to need a soft seat. Is that this one? Because I don't see that. Oh, you're also going to need a soft seafoam piece that is 1 inch by 5 1/2. And then you're going to need, let me just read these off to you. You're going to need a Whisper White piece that is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And that was basically, you can see I've already cut this out. And that's what I cut this out with, which is the little frame. And I'm going to show you how to extend it in just one quick second. And then you're going to need some vellum, which you're going to need scrap pieces because I've already cut out the leaves for the vellum. And then you're going to need a Pretty Peacock that is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. And what I did with this one is I haven't played with my Ornate Layer Dies in a long time, so I wanted to. So I used this die right here. and I cut this out of that, it started out as 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, and that was the pretty peacock piece. And then you're going to need, I think, another Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. And what I've already done, and it looks like I'm missing one, is these are the other 2 stamps, and I've already stamped them out and cut them out with the dies. And so I basically stamped this on a 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut these out. All right. But the reason I did that is so that this can go together a little quicker, but I wanted to spend some time on how to match this up when you're wanting a longer piece than what the die is. All right, so let's look at that. So I'm going to bring this in. Let me zoom it in, and I hope this doesn't mess up my phone. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this because it is on white. Oh, and I did put the adhesive strips on the back. But see how when you cut this out, it leaves this little indentation right there. So when you're lining it up so that it's a continuous die, you want to actually, you don't want to line this up with it. You want to go past it and line it up like so. Does that make sense? Again, you have this little section here, which is what this, so when this was over here, it embossed this section. So if you want a continuous die without breaks in it, then you have to take this and not put it here, but line it up like so. All right, so let me do that. And this is a little tricky because it's really important that you get the tops, this down here, that you get this lined up like exactly right. Because if you don't, it cuts it kind of cattywampus. It still looks fine, but I mean, this is something that I'm gonna say, you know what, let me bring in my, what I'm gonna die cut it on so I don't have to move it once I get it taped down. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just push that over and try to keep this bottom line right where that cut is there. And you'll see that I do take a little bit of time to do this because I want to make sure that it is lined up properly. So yeah, it does, it's, oh, see, and there I go moving it. Sorry. I've got to get this at an angle that I can get that taped down properly. All right, so I'm going to tape that in place. And then I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. And we'll show you what happens when you do the one continuous. So you could use this die. Oh, I think it moved. Dang it, it came untaped, sorry. You could use this die and cut out a piece that would go all the way across a 12 by 12 scrapbook page. Because I know there are some of us here that do scrapbook as well as do card making. Probably some of us that do more scrapbooking than card making. That was me not too many years ago. I'm going to put another piece of tape just to try to keep that in place. Now, shoot, let me move this. What I'm trying to do is make sure, see how I had that? Oh, here we go again. Or you can't see what I'm doing, right? Okay. Okay, so the thing here is we want to be careful. Oh, let me go out. There. So sorry about that. You guys were looking at the die cutting machine. So you want to make sure that your die is not hanging off the plate. So always make sure that you have it's okay if your paper is off, but you always want your die to not be off the plate. Because that's how you break dies, people, is having them hanging either off the sides or off the end. And you want to make sure that you do not do that. All right. So we're going to put that through. And then let's get this out of the way. Ooh. Hefty, hefty, hefty. It's still lighter than the other one was. Okay, so now again, I'm going to carefully pull the washi tape up. You know, even though washi tape doesn't, you can adjust it and you can pull it. You can pull it up. You still need to be careful because it will tear paper if you pull it very, you know, real rough. All right. So see how that combined and it finished. That's where we attached it. And so it actually did the circle and it combined this line and the little circle. So cool. Yes. Yay. All right. So now I'm going to very quickly pop this out, and then I'm going to do the same thing because I have the adhesive strips. And I did, for this one, I did use the thick Whisper White, just because, and that's something to always think about, is, you know, some of the times to use the thick Whisper White is when you're dealing with stuff like this that is really detailed and dainty. I use the cardstock. The colored cardstock is thicker. At least it feels like it is to me. But when I'm using the colored cardstock, I really never have to worry about this. But sometimes when I use the regular Whisper White, then it just makes this a little bit harder because it's thinner, and so it gives you a better chance of possibly tearing it. Because this is so detailed. And then because I've put the adhesive strips on the back, it makes it a little bit even more. So then what you do is you're going to snip that right there. And you're going to snip it right here. And then again, just like we did on that first one. Okay, I hope that's, okay, that's adhesive. Then we're going to cut it right where the detail is, because if you don't, then it these pieces will stay in there, if that makes sense. Okay, so you're going to end up with two of these that look like this, and we're going to pull that off in just a second when I start putting the card together. But again, I just wanted to show you how you can take that die and extend it. And like I said, you can keep extending it however long you want to make that full piece. So I hope that made sense to you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick this back in here because I have a tendency to lay things down and forget where I've laid them. So that's the other die that I didn't have in there earlier that goes with the flowering die set. Oops. All right. Okay. So now I think we can start putting our card together. Yay! All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay down the Designer Series paper. And again, this is from the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper. I like to kind of go back sometimes and use some of the stuff like those Ornate Layer Dies. I haven't used those in a while and I absolutely love them. But that was one of, remember that was a pre-order that we could all get like in advance. And I think we got it and then we kind of set it to the side because all of this, then the annual catalog came out and then the mini catalog came out. And so, you know, don't forget, if you bought these dies, they're beautiful. Use them. Use them. Okay, so we're going to lay this down. Then we're going to come in with this piece right here. Now, this time I did bring in a different stamp set for the sentiment. And it's the Here's a Card stamp set. And we're going to use this happy birthday right here. And we're going to be using block B. I've started telling you guys which blocks I'm using, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of the ones that I use the most. Okay. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to just get this as far over to the right as we can, but still leave enough space so that it looks good. I don't like to get things all the way to the right. So I want to leave a little space on the right, but I want to get this on here. All right, so there's my happy birthday. That's stamped on that right-hand side. We're going to clean that off. And I'm definitely going to put that one back right away so that I don't end up putting it in the wrong stamp set. So again, that's from the Here's a Card sentiment. This one is just sentiments. So we're going to put that there. And then we are going to use our Stampin' Seal. And this is going to, I didn't measure this, but if you guys are measurers, you can measure it. But basically, and again, it's overlapping, so it's going to go end to end, but you kind of want to get this centered the best that you can. And if you wanted to use a ruler, you can. I just didn't. And I will tell you this paper, like, because these lines are not straight, it's kind of an optical illusion. So always, again, before you press it down, see how I'm kind of just pressing this side to see, do I have it centered? You're falling asleep. All right, Brenda. Have a good rest. All right, so that's going to go there. Then we're going to come in with these two pieces that I cut. And let me see, I think these might be a little longer. Yeah, so they're going to overlap just a bit as well. And we're going to pull off that backing. And again, hope that most of the little pieces, at least the stuff that wants to come out, is going to come out. Now, this one's not picking up as much as the other one did. So I'm going to have to do some poking out on this one. So now I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm just going to grab these little pieces here. This card is actually going to go together pretty quick. The only downfall of this adhesive sheets is when you're trying to pull out these little tiny pieces, this really sticks to your fingers. And then these pieces will sometimes stick to the back, like the little tiny ones will just kind of like fold, like as you push it through, it just kind of folds itself and attaches to the back. All right. I'm going to end up with little white dots all over me tonight, but that's okay. One of the things I could have done was use the die brush before I pulled the backing off and gotten a lot of that to come out. But like I said, sometimes with that backing, it does hold things in place a little bit more, so it doesn't always work. Oh my goodness. I can feel the little dots all over my fingers. So sorry that this is so tedious to watch, but all part of card making, right, ladies? Oh, this is really sticking over here. Okay. I think I've almost got it. Ah, this is really sticking. I don't want it to tear. Ah, but it's, oh, I tore it, but that's okay. It will lay down flat. It's because it was sticking to my hand. All right, so now we're gonna come over here and we're just going to, I think I'll line this side up first. And it's just a smidgen off the edge. And we're gonna push that up so that it just lays flush. Nope. Oh my gosh. This is really sticking to my hand so that I didn't get it. It's a little bit more. One of the good things to do, don't do what I do and guess at this. One of the good things to do is before you take the back off of this is kind of lay it down so that you know where to start it, which I showed you the wrong way to do this. So don't copy me this time. All right, and then we're gonna pull this in, and I'm not too worried about that little tear right there because that part's gonna be covered. All right, so there's that one. Then we're gonna come in with this other one. I'm wondering if I should try to push. And I'm gonna hope that it just pulls it out and does good this time. So let's pull it, because it usually really does do a good job of pulling. And one of the things you can do if you're watching me is I'm trying to catch some of that stuff as I'm pulling it. I'm kind of pushing from the other side with my nails. And my nails are really short right now, so you don't have to have long nails to do this. That one's being stubborn. But yeah, if you can kind of just help it and push some of these out, then that's going to help you in the long run. All right, there we go. All right, so it, oh gosh. it loves me. It absolutely loves me. It keeps sticking to my hand. Maybe if I don't move my hand, I'll just move this other hand. So we're going to get all these little pieces out of here. Oh, that's just stuck it down. Oh, that's a good idea. It looks like it likes to stick to my fingers, so that might be a good way to try to get all these little pieces out, is just grab it with my, nope. Of course, the minute I say that, then it stops doing that. I'm telling you. Alrighty. So again, I apologize if this is a little hard to watch, because I know it can be a little boring sometimes, but that sometimes these things do take a little bit of time, and I don't want to give you false expectations, right? You see me do it really fast, and then you start doing it, and then you guys get frustrated because it didn't take Julie that long to do this. So it's kind of good that you guys get to see that sometimes you do have to put a little bit more detailed work in on some of these more detailed dies. So I guess it's not a bad thing that this is happening. Let's just hope I can get all of this. I've got kind of white fingernail polish on, and I don't know if I'm gonna see all the small dots that are attaching to it. So, all right. Oh, I think I see one more little dot right here on the end. Okay, I think I got it all. Okay, so same thing. We're just going, can you guys see that it's stuck to my hand? All right, so then we're just gonna bring this in here. And we're just gonna lay that down. And I'm gonna show you one little trick, because I see a couple of the little dots. Like this one actually doesn't even belong here. It just stuck there. But you can, once you get this laid, once you get this laid down, if you see little dots that maybe like were underneath, you can use your tweezers. And even like this one that stayed in there, you can grab it with a tweezer and get it out of there once it's laid down. Same way with this one. All right, so there's that. So see how I wanted it bigger, and so I made it bigger. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to build this up with our flowers. And actually, let's go ahead and stamp the inside of the card so I can get the stamping part done. So this time I used this, oh, forgot to tell you, the inks that I used on this one were Just Jade and Rococo Rose, which are both in colors. So Rococo Rose was an in color from last year, and it'll be available through 2021. Hey, Patty. And then Just Jade was our new in colors that came out this year. So I'm going to just, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of this card just so I can get the stamping out of the way. And so what I did was I took our little leaf with the Just Jade and I kind of framed what I was doing here, or kind of guessed where the frame needed to be. So I kind of put a leaf up here, and then I put a leaf down over here. And then I'm gonna come in with that, the skinny flower. And this is gonna be in the Rococo Rose. So then here's this one. And this one I'm inking up with the Rococo Rose. And I just want to put it right above the leaf and over here next to the leaf. And then I'm going to come in with the other flower that's in here, the smaller flowers, because I used the bigger flowers on the first two cards. But now we're going to come in with this fun flower. Ink that up, and then this one is gonna kind of be between that right there. Okay, so that's kind of how, let me bring it closer so you can see it. So I just kind of built up that corner, but I did start with the leaves just because they're a darker color and I thought it would be easier for me to work around those leaves. And then these were the colors that I stamped, you know, because I did stamp on another Whisper White piece. And then I ended up cutting them out with the dies. So just so you know, I did that ahead of time. So I didn't show you that because, again, I think most of you are pretty comfortable with the die machine. If I ever have anybody on here who's not, just let me know. And I'd be happy to show you how to use the die machines and how to line up things for the die machines. I don't have a problem doing that. So let me go ahead and stick this on the inside while I've got it ready to go. And then I can get that done. And then we will finish up the front of this card and we will be done. All right, so that's gonna go on the inside. See, I have these little white dots everywhere. Oh my gosh, this is too funny. Oh, I forgot to do my sentiment. Oh wait, I'll get it in just a second. Because it has a fun sentiment in here too. So the front is going to say happy birthday. And then the inside is going to say, I made you a card because you're worth it. Yay! Right? Because we all know we don't really like to give our cards away, right? I hear people ask me that all the time. You know, you give those away after you make them? And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's hard for some of us because we know that they're probably going to look at it and say, oh, cute, and then put it in the trash. But that's okay. It's the thought and it's the feelings that we give people when we're giving them the cards that is the important thing. And if it made their day, then they can do whatever they want with it, right? All right. Okay, so let me see if I can, oh, be straight. Yay! Pretty straight. So it says, happy birthday, I made you a card because you're worth it. And then you can write your own little fun message to whoever's birthday it is that you're sending this to. I thought that was kind of a fun saying that I haven't used before, so I thought I would put that in this card. Okay, let's finish the front. So now what I did was I'm actually going to do some trimming of these little pieces. And just so that we can hide like the center pieces. So I trim those two green ones. So that's what they look like once they're trimmed. And then I'm basically going to place one up here, and then I'm going to turn this one, and this one is going to kind of start in this corner. So I'm going to come in with my Tombow glue, and we're just going to glue this in place. Same thing with this one. So I'm going to leave that off because I should be doing this fairly quickly. Trying to keep these center pieces pretty close because we're going to cover that in just a second. Then I came in with this one, and I'm going to cut it around this, because I need this little piece here, and then I need this piece here. So I'm just going to kind of come in, and I'm just going to cut it so it still looks good down here. And then this one, the longer piece, is going to be right here. And again, you see I'm kind of making everything meet in the middle. And then this other little piece that I cut off is actually going to lay kind of like right here. And then we're going to bring in our vellum pieces. And the vellum pieces, I'm only putting glue on the part that's going to be hidden. But I am, again, trimming some of this off. And so I'm just going to put glue on these two bottom leaves here. And one of them is going to go right there. And again, I'm going to trim this one as well. I know you can't really see the vellum, but I pretty much trimmed it the same place I did the other leaves. And this piece is going to go right there. And it's going this part is gonna, you can kind of, if you wanted to curve it and make it more, have more dimension. Then what I did with this one is I'm actually going to cut the stems off of this one, because I just want the flowers. And this is the part that's going to cover this center, and it's going to sit on there like that. So we're going to come in with the glue, and then I'm just going to place that so that it covers all of those centers. Alrighty. And I'll bring that closer so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's all put together. Then what I'm going to do is bring in some Stampin' Dimensionals for the back of this. And this time, believe it or not, I'm using a lot because I just want this to stay sturdy. So I'm actually putting 5 on this little thing. I know you guys never see me do that, right? I've lost my mind. I hardly ever use this many dimensionals. But I just kind of wanted this to be really solid on this card front. And again, you don't want to push this down until you get it centered the way that you want it. So this is going to come in here. And I've got to stand up, sorry, just so I can see if I've got it centered. I think it moved down. All right, so then I can push it in place. And then the last thing I'm going to do is bring in my rhinestones. And we're going to color 3 of these little rhinestones with our Pretty Peacock Dark Stampin' Blend. So I'm going to color a big one, a medium one, and a small one. Don't you love the Stampin' Blends? I just love that we can color in it because they're alcohol based. They dry so quickly. Oops, my putty is not out. Okay. Then I'm going to just pick these up, and we're going to basically surround the sentiment on the front. All right, and there's our, ooh, I left my black memento ink uncovered. That probably got dried out pretty good. So there's our last card. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? So it says happy birthday, and it's got the shiny shimmery on the, and then I made you a card because you're worth it. All right, so let me bring in all of the cards that we made tonight. So the first one was our simple stamping card. And then we have this one that I followed. I wanted to just follow the colors that the playing with patterns said to use. And so, so as you can see, we start with the simple, and then we get a little more intricate, and then we do a lot here. And so basically what they kind of say is this is for your beginner stampers, this is for your intermediate stampers, and this is for your advanced stampers. But you guys all know, you've come to my classes, and you guys can do any of these cards that you want to do. All right, I am going to put this up really quick because I do want to point out the stuff that I used with these cards. So I did use the Forever Greenery DSP Designer Series paper, the Playing with Patterns Designer Series paper, the Playing with Patterns resin dots, the Ornate Layer Dies, and the Here's a Card stamp set, and then the rhinestones. I don't have the rhinestones on there. Okay, so there you go. So this is this sweet, or not sweet, it's a bundle, and it is the Flowering Blooms bundle, and there's the cards that we made out of it. Yay! I hope you guys loved them. I had so much fun designing these, and I'm still getting used to the colors on this one, but I think it works, and I think it did good. Oh, so this is your favorite card. Okay, yeah, I know. This one is so pretty. So pretty. But, you know, don't forget, guys, if you're in a hurry, you can do these beautiful, simple stamped cards. And if you look in the book, and that's something I did want to show you. So if you're not familiar with where to find, so this is the set, and it is on page 70. But if you're not sure, like what stamps are going to look really pretty if I'm just stamping, it is the distinctive stamps, and I want to show you how you find the distinctive stamps. So if you look, see this little symbol right here? It says distinctive. So anytime you see, and it's kind of like a Blackberry Bliss color. So anytime you see that, you know it's going to be one of these stamp sets that you can use just stamping. And I mean, and a lot of them are like that, but these are just like extra special because they have all of that depth in the stamp set. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I missed you guys last week. I will not be on Saturday because I get to be in a Leaders Summit meeting. We were supposed to go to New Orleans, but we didn't get to go because of COVID-19, and it's probably a good thing because I know there's hurricanes coming in there. So we are doing all of the training online, and it starts Thursday at 3 o'clock, and I will be training Thursday evening, all day Friday, and all day Saturday. So hopefully I'm going to learn some really fun things and some really good techniques that I can share with you guys. So the next time I will be on is going to be next Tuesday, unless I just get crazy and decide to put one on. If I get really motivated between now and Thursday, I might do a pre-recorded one and just pop it in on this site. So on Saturday, you might want to see if there's a new recording. It won't be live, it will be pre-recorded. But I appreciate all you guys being here tonight. I know it's late, and I know everybody gets tired, but I hope you guys all have a great evening. And we will see you, if not on my pre-recorded one Saturday, if I get it done. I will definitely be talking to you guys next Tuesday. So everybody have a great evening. Bye.